All right, man. So the video title is gonna be a little different. It's still just gonna be a tier list though. But I thought, because I feel like I'm always praising albums, I thought it'd be interesting if I listened to a band that I don't like, and I thought it'd be cool if I did a video on them. I plan on doing this for like milestones, like how I did Eminem at 100, or like how I want to do like Drake, Taylor Swift, or the Beatles when I hit like 500. This video specifically isn't really for a milestone. I did hit 150 recently, which is cool, so thank you guys, but I'm just doing this for fun is all I'm saying. Going into this, I didn't like this band at all, obviously. I thought they were just millennial hipster music. I thought that like someone like a James Murphy, who just looks so like, oh yeah, I'm so hip. He just looks so hipster, man. And that's what I thought this band was. I still think they are. But I listened to their albums because I was like, why not, man? Why not torture myself a little? And I came out the other end kind of enjoying it, but let's just get into it. I included like the session albums. I didn't listen to the remix album though, so it's just gonna be there in the corner. Yeah, I really have no notes. I included their albums, included the session albums, and included the one long live album. So let's just get into it, man. Starting us off in F tier, we have American Dream. This album is a snooze. I think that the singles are placed near the end. Those songs are good, but other than that, there's literally nothing here. It's really boring, and like genuinely, it's such a boring listen. I don't care, man. There are moments on here where I'm just like, I feel like LCD at their worst aren't even bad. They're just so boring, dude. I feel like they've only made like one song that I consciously remember as bad, and I'll talk about that song later. I don't think they make like awful music. I just think they make like the most boring stuff you could come up with, and I think that's what American Dream is. It's like a strong 3 for me. It's just a snooze, man. There's a few good songs, but like there's really nothing here. Then at the bottom of D tier, we got the live album, The Long Goodbye. They really took that literally because this is such a long album. Why is it 3 hours? Like seriously, it starts so strong. It starts insanely strong. You got Dance Yourself Clean. You got All My Friends. You got some of their best songs on the front end of this record. Seriously, like the first 40 minutes, I was like, man, this is some of the best stuff they've ever made. And then it drags. This album is 3 hours long. It does not need to be 3 hours long. It's also just filled to the brim with filler. Seriously, there are some songs on here that I'm pretty sure are covers. I don't know, man. Like, why did those exist? There's songs on here where they're using, like, weird voice effects. I'm just like, stop, man. It's so boring. Seriously, it is such a boring album. I'm just tired, man. I don't want to listen to this for 3 hours. I could listen to the first 40 minutes and be like, yep, that was good. I really liked it. Like, seriously, if this was just the first 40 minutes, a really short live show, it'd be like A tier. I'm not even joking with you. Because it's pretty good, actually. It just completely falls off, though, with a completely bloated track list. It's just super boring, man. Like, there are songs on here off their first album that I really like, but they just don't capture the energy that they bring on the first album. It just kind of feels forced. It just kind of feels like they're there, and I don't really like it. Yeah, this album is like a light 4. It's not bad. It's just mid. It's straight mid. Then we got the one long song, which is going to go above it. I'm just talking about the long song here, by the way. I don't know why they put, like, the streaming version on here. Yeah, I don't like this. Like, there's this one song on Sound of Silver, and I was already kind of like, I don't really know if this goes anywhere, I was kind of like, this is a cool song, but it feels like it's not really doing much. Then they take that song and release it before Sound of Silver, but make it 20 minutes long at least. And it's so like, why? I don't get it, man. This album is boring. It's just, as I said, one long song. It's 40 minutes, I think. And it's just like, I guess, on. It's just on, dude. I don't care about this thing. It's insanely boring, and it just drags. I don't care. It's just The Long Goodbye, but shorter. There's a female vocalist on here. I thought she was cool. You give her her own song that's not 45 minutes long, and I think it could have been good, because I don't know. I like her voice in comparison to James's. But, like, literally, she's on here as, like, backing vocals, and then disappears after, like, 3 minutes. So, yeah, you just have this thing. And it's just a 40-minute snooze fest. It's like another light 4 for me. Then hot take, but we have Sound of Silver going above the long song. This is the first LCD album I listened to. I listened to this a while back, like a few months ago, and I didn't like it at all. I gave it like a light 3, and I said it was just absolutely boring. And it grew on me, I will admit. I actually kind of like it now, but like before I was just a complete hater of this album. I thought it was super boring. I went as far as to lower the rating to a 1. It's grown on me since then, obviously, or else it would have been an F tier. This album is fine. I think it's inconsistent, and it also has literally the worst LCD Soundsystem song of all time on it, that being the title track. I hate the chorus on that. There's no reason for that chorus to exist. It sucks. But literally everything else is just like, it ranges from being fine to, hey, that was actually good, I will admit. You know, you got the first track on here, Get Innocuous. You have All My Friends. I feel like I've heard both these songs too much because of like the live performances and everything and like the sessions. But I like those songs, you know? You got Us v Them, that's a cool song too. I also feel like James is kind of doing these weird vocals on here. Like the vocals show on like the title track, like I said, where he's just doing this weird voice thing that I don't like at all. He also does it on Time to Get Away where he goes like, it's time. I'm like, stop, dude. Stop it right now. The rest of that song is good, but literally that part sucks. I just feel like this record is a little inconsistent, and it also just suffers from kind of being boring at moments. It does have some admittedly good songs on it, though. It's a solid record, though, I will admit. It's like a light to decent 5. It's cool. Above Sound of Silver, though, we have Electric Lady Sessions. I think this thing is way too long. Like, seriously, I think it's like 70 minutes. That's usually like a cool length, I guess. But you make this like 40, 50 minutes and it's made instantly better. This would probably go in like C or B tier. I think it's got some quality on it. I just think its length and the fact that it's a little inconsistent drag it down a little for me. It's a decent listen though, I will admit. I just think it could have been cut down, and I think if it was, it would have actually been a pretty good LCD album. It's like a strong 5 to a light 6. It's pretty solid actually. Above that though, we have London Sessions. This would have been a pretty great LCD project if you cut down on the Sound of Silver. Like seriously, if you remove some of the Sound of Silver tracks on here, this would have been a pretty great record. I think if you give me more This Is Happening, more self-titled, you probably would have had a great album from LCD Soundsystem. But I just think they have too much Sound of Silver on here and it drags down this album for me. It's actually pretty decent though. I might even go as far as to put this in C tier. I like this actually. I'll put it in C tier. I like this album. I think it's good, you know? It's like a strong 6 to a light 7. It just could have used less Sound of Silver is all. Above London Sessions, though, you have This Is Happening. Now that I'm thinking about it, I might like London Sessions more than This Is Happening. I think that This Is Happening starts really strong, actually, but it severely falls off on the back end with just some really weak songs. Like, seriously, the whole back end is made up of, like, Pow. Pow's fine, but everything else is just kind of like, what, dude? Like, there's that one song, I don't remember what it's called, but I don't like that song at all. And it just sounds like drastically different from the rest of the record. And I was like, why does this exist? Yeah, like the back end is honestly pretty mid, but the first half is actually pretty good. I just think it falls off pretty hard on the back end, and I think that some of the songs are way too long. It's a good album though. I'll actually put London Sessions above it. Yeah, I think that if it wasn't so freaking inconsistent and pretty weird on the back end, it actually would have been a pretty good LCD album. It's all right though. It's like a light 7. It's like a strong 6 to a light 7. I might actually put this one in D tier. We'll see though. Then in B tier, we have their best album, self-titled. This is literally the best thing they've ever made by far. It's not even close, dude. It's just super consistent and it's super stripped down too, and it's just full of bangers, man. You got the hardcore punk tracks on here. Those go crazy, man. I love those songs. Then you also got some of the more dancey tracks on here, like Yeah. Like that's a pretty good song actually. Like it's super long, like it's 9 minutes long, but I really like that song. I think that they're just really stripped down here. James doesn't sound like he's not doing any weird voices on here besides like on Daft Punk is Playing at My House. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't like that song at all because his vocals suck. Like he's going like ow, ow, ow. Like stop, dude. I don't want to hear your freaking awful voice. And I think that the fact that this is a double album kind of surprises me. Like I saw this was an hour and 40 minutes long and I was like, ugh, this is gonna be awful. But it wasn't actually. It was a surprisingly consistent listen that I actually really enjoyed. I could see myself like going back to this in the future. It's a pretty great album from LCD, I'll be honest with you. And that's coming from a hater, if you couldn't tell. It's like a decent 8 actually. I really like this one. So yeah, I tried to enjoy LCD Soundsystem and I came out on the other end with this tier list. You might have some LCD fans in the comments saying I'm incorrect. I might get death threats, but you know, this is just my opinion, obviously. As I said, I'm still not the biggest fan of this band, dude. But I will admit, I really like the self-titled album. They're okay. They're fine, I guess. I plan on doing more videos like this in the future on like just random days where I just kind of talk about bands that I didn't really like before, but tried to enjoy at the very least. So I had fun doing this. I had fun kind of being critical because I feel like I'm a little too positive all the time. So yeah, I made this. So share your rankings in the comments as always, man. Glad you made it this far, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.